You okay?
We're live.
Is the volume okay?
How's the volume?
Down a little bit. Okay, good. 15 seconds. Hi,
We're live on
Facebook.
Facebook. Hi, Facebook.
Hey, Facebook.
Welcome.
Good afternoon. Welcome to BISTalk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio. I'm Bob Ryan.
I'm Montana Smith.
And I'm Aaron Canada.
All right, Aaron. I'm getting used to this now.
I'm also getting used to it, so some of these are going to be a little bit more premeditated.
Well, that's okay. I just don't want to have to come up with exciting every single day, right?
No, I think today's show is intriguing.
Intriguing.
We've got guests that are doing something that you might be familiar with, but they're doing it in a different way.
That's, but most of you don't know listening. Aaron's the guy that books the shows, right? I mean, you book almost all these shows.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Montana does some of the booking, but yeah, a lot of it I've kind of taken on my shoulder. And it's been really actually a very fun thing for me to do.
And you actually have strategy to whom you book on with each show.
Yes. I look for the people who have the weirdest headshot on the social media profile. That's who I book. So no offense to our guests. But
Hey, and along that line, I'd like to welcome back to the show Angie from Point Loma.
Oh, Angie.
She's a long-time listener.
Yes.
Welcome back, Angie.
All right.
We're glad you're with us and listening in to
Angie-
each and every show. I know you will.
Angie was listening back when we started off in 1992 on KPRZ. It was a Christian radio station. I think they're still here in San Diego. On a Saturday afternoon where we had 2 listeners.
Wow.
And Angie was one of
Get
them.
out of here.
Now we
That's
still have 2
fantastic.
listeners. Now with Angie, we have 3 listeners.
Yes.
Nice. Thanks,
Welcome,
Angie.
Thank you for listening in, and everybody else as well, and those that are watching on Facebook. We appreciate all that. Aaron, you said today's show is intriguing, and I believe it is. David Lowe is with us. He is founder and CEO of Qwerky. It's a co-living community for like-minded people, and it's not a commune, okay? I mean, if you're in your 60s, you're going to think commune right away. This is a little bit different. After we talk to David, Darren Solomon is here, co-founder and CEO of Kid Ventures. Great concept. It's an indoor Disney combined with a Starbucks concept where parents and kids are going to go play together. And we'll talk with Darren at the bottom of the hour. Our first guest, David Lowe, is with us, founder and CEO of Qwerky. David, thank you.
Thank you for having me, Bob. Excited to be here.
Now, let's get your accent out of the way.
Bring in the translator.
Nobody would have noticed.
Okay, so you know Brits have like this intriguing, lovely accent as far as... Now,
We try our best. Yep.
yes, and to you, we probably have the accent, right?
Yes.
So you live in a country full of accented people.
That's right. Yeah.
Do you like our accent the way we like yours? Probably not
I've got
as
to
much.
say yes, haven't I?
Oh, you are.
Your show.
Do we say dude and whoa as much as people in England think Californians do?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Especially in I was in Texas for 5 years, so but moving to California, yeah, it's lots of that. Yeah,
Dude, that's not cool.
Dudes and woes.
Dude, that's not cool. So what part of England are you from?
Blackpool in the northwest.
Blackpool in the northwest.
Yes.
Then,
You been there?
No. Oddly, I'm an Anglophile. I'm an Anglophile. Never been to England. We're gonna have to go because
Yes,
Montana.
Yep, you're overdue for a trip.
Trip.
Your first trip.
And you're from the southwest of
Southwest.
England.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you don't speak British anymore.
Only when I get riled. Want to rile me?
When there's a footy match?
Alrighty then.
So let's get to Qwerky, David. It's a company that you are founding. You're in the process of launching, so it's not something. Is it? I mean, are you launched yet, or are you in the process of launching?
We're in the process. So we did a pilot house back in June this year, which was a big success. I just kind of got the team together. We've got an amazing legal advisor on board. And very soon we're going to be pitching for investment and acquiring our first building and then opening that first co-living community in San Diego.
Okay, you know we ask every new company to bring 10 shares of founder stock for the interview, right?
We'll talk about that at the break.
So far, nobody's ever brought any, but we keep
well, the
asking.
next time-
I know one of these days somebody will actually bring some stock. I
Well,
know.
if you get me on for a second time, I'll bring you stock.
There
then.
we go.
How about that?
That's a deal.
Noted.
Deal.
So Qwerky is a co-living community, and you say it's for like-minded people. I'm guessing co-living communities for unlike-minded people probably isn't the best idea.
No.
Yeah. So
that was the that
So-
was on the chalkboard, but
Why-
scratch that. Made it work. Let's do like-minded
There we go.
commonalities.
Why are you doing this? I mean, why do we need a co-living community? I mean, it seems like I know we have a housing crisis, at least in Southern California right now. Is that part of it, or is this a general concept and idea that would work whether we had a housing crisis or not?
Well, it's a European concept originally. It started in Amsterdam in the 80s, and so we're bringing that across the US. But the key thing is that if you look at the American dream, it's very much about kind of, work harder, earn more, and just eventually retire on a ranch in Texas in your mansion. And we just think the American dream needs to be updated. So communities that kind of keep, at our core, community and happiness and engagement. So we're saying to entrepreneurs, digital nomads, and creatives, you can live with people like yourself and immediately plug into our network. And then through being around those people, your success, should I say, will be accelerated.
Okay, you just lost me with everything after digital nomad. I got entrepreneur and creative. Digital nomad. We're gonna have to make that a word of the week because I've not. Yes, I've
Yeah,
not
that's
heard
good.
that. Is that a new buzzword?
I'd say last few years, it's yeah.
Are these people who
But-
are making their livelihoods who travel around the world?
Yes.
They can do their work anywhere as
That's
long as
right,
they have
that's
a
right.
laptop and an
Yes.
internet connection, right?
Yes. So they're combining travel and entrepreneurship, and you'll see them working on a beach on a laptop, and while developing.
What
software.
about digital gypsy?
Digital gypsy? Is you could.
Of course,
you could call them
gypsies
that.
in Europe might have a little bit of a different kind of feel and
Connotations.
context than we do here in the
Yeah.
United States,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe a little bit of
Maybe a
stigma
little.
attached to
Yeah.
that word, but yeah, you can call them that.
Digital gypsy.
So is this predominantly for people who are traveling around, or are people who are already, in San Diego think they might be here for the long term? Would this still be an option for them?
It's a combination of things. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to start a company, you are looking for stability and stay in the same place for a while to maybe try and get funding or find your co-founders.
Otherwise, you're couch surfing and
Exactly.
wearing out your welcome at every friend you have, every
Yep.
relative you have,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you cycle back.
That's
Because
right,
you've
yeah.
worn everybody out. Now you got to go back to the first person that lets you stay there for 3 days, right?
Exactly.
And I've met entrepreneurs that were very successful. Mike Robertson from MP3 told that story about couch surfing for 2 years while he was
Oh,
building
yeah.
the company.
Absolutely. There's people. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? In Silicon Valley, you start in a garage,
Yeah.
and there's been stories where people have slept in their cars to help
Right.
while the business gets off the ground.
Right. So this is a concept where somebody that's in that position, instead of couch surfing, they can still keep their costs down, which I'm guessing is one of the
Yes.
big keys here.
Yes.
Not just the community, but the actual cost of overhead and living.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So how does it manifest itself? Is there? I'm assuming there's a physical. Well, we're going to get back to that in just a second. David Lowe is with us, founder and CEO of Qwerky. Qwerky.co is the website, a co-living community for like-minded people. You're listening to BISTalk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio. I'm Bob Ryan.
I'm Montana Smith.
And I'm Aaron Kanata.
Don't you dare go anywhere. We're going to find out how this all works because you might want to live there someday. Who knows? We'll be right back.
Stick picture. Go ahead and slide
I'm
over
going to put
next
your
to
lid
him.
back on this because I'm likely to
Oh
not
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
flying.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and put it on.
Yeah, I can't believe we lost.
I saw that last
Trinidad
night.
and Tobago
Oh
was
my
the last
goodness.
place team.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about?
Who is this? This sounds like Greg Gutfield.
You can take them off now.
Who just made it in the World Cup, the smallest country ever to go in? Was it Iceland?
Mike out.
I know Panama made it because
No, it wasn't Panama. It was a country that nobody ever expects to make it to the World Cup.
Senegal.
Honduras.
No, I think it's, I want to say Iceland for some reason.
Iceland
The
has a
last one.
team?
Yeah, they
were
did well
in
the
the-
last one.
Really?
Actually, no, it was Euros. That was Euros. So it could be Iceland.
Yeah, it's the smallest country ever to make it into the World Cup,
Oh,
which is fascinating, whoever that is.
yeah. Good for
And
them.
then Americans aren't doing so well,
We're
right?
out.
They're out.
Oh, we're out already?
Yeah, we got out last
We are
yesterday.
eliminated.
Completely eliminated. Yeah.
Holy crap, we
Next
need the
year's-
women in there.
Love it.
Yeah, right?
Why don't we have a women's World Cup? Because we
do.
dominate
I know.
we do dominate.
in women's.
Yeah.
but there's no women's World
yeah.
Cup.
Iceland.
Is that right?
It's Iceland? Yeah.
It's only
Yeah.
Olympic women's Olympics. Huh?
Yeah, well,
Iceland actually beat England in the last Euros.
Oh, is that
Remember?
right?
They beat them 1-0 and knocked us out.
that's kind of staying bad.
Because we've invested so much money in soccer in the U.S. now.
Yeah.
That's a big.
Yeah, it's really disappointing.
Well, if our football players keep kneeling at the national anthem, we're going to replace
Yep.
American
Get 'em in the
football
soccer
with
team.
soccer. 'Cause
That's
All right, we're back to
That's
5
annoying.
seconds. 5. Gear up, Buck. Nice. Good choice, Jeff, as always. Great leading back from commercials. You're listening to us from the ESET studios. ESET Internet Security, do more. And we are BISTalk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio. Do you want a podcast of the show? Of course you do. Go to ESPN1700.com. I'm Montana Smith.
I'm Aaron Canado.
And I'm Bob Ryan. You know, for those of you listening on the radio, you don't realize that we play to the camera here, right?
We
we're not
pretend
just
like we're,
I know
movie
we're
stars.
like we're really important, so we actually talk to the Facebook.
What? We're not important?
I still think
But-
we should
but-
have a
but-
red carpet and do a real entrance for our Facebook Live. You know, like if it was some major
That's-
event.
That's a good idea. You
We'll
come
talk
up with
about
some
who
good ideas
everybody's
today.
wearing, right? We can go through our fashion.
What they're wearing,
Aaron's
yeah.
wearing denim from Target.
All right. And when I walk in, I want "Son of a Preacher Man" play.
Of
Okay,
course,
all right.
of course.
My dad's a minister, so I like
He's a
"Son of
PK,
Preacher
preacher's kid.
That's a good walking team.
That is. David Lowe is with us, founder and CEO of Qwerky. At the bottom of the hour, Darren Solomon will be with us, co-founder and CEO of Kid Ventures. You'll want to stay tuned for that story. Back to Qwerky. Qwerky.co is the website. David, we were just talking before we went to the break about how this actually manifests itself. If somebody listening says, this sounds really interesting, when they open up their doors and their lunch, I want to check this out. When they arrive, what will it physically look like to them? Will it be a normal house, an apartment, a condo? Or are you going to build things, tents? Puppies?
Not 10.
Year-round
Not
Burning
tents.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Burning Man in the city. Think of a building, and we'll have about 30 to 50 entrepreneurs living in their space, and there'll be a split. So it'll be
It's more than a two-bedroom, I take it.
more than 2.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
good.
yeah. It's say about 10,000 square feet.
No
But there'll
kidding.
be really cool kind of minimalist style apartments, and you'll have your bedroom and bathroom in that space. But then on the lower floor for the digital nomads, we'll have these kind of conceptual pods that you can live in. That
Okay,
you'll be able to customize.
You just
Can I go into
completely
the future there?
yeah, but you just completely revolutionized my thought process about how this works. Now I'm like super intrigued. You said it was going to be intriguing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So
you're a
I'm
Doctor
super
Who fan
intrigued.
as well, so I'm
That's
sure
true.
You're there now.
I'm there. I'm
In the
with you.
future, or the
Yeah.
past.
Yes. So and you don't. Is it going to be bigger on the inside than it is on the outside? You know, you have to be a Doctor Who fan to understand that reference at all. Never mind.
Totally.
The TARDIS is bigger, and never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
All right, moving on. So about 10,000 square feet for how many people?
Between 30 and 50 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Quite a big first community.
now is hostel kind of comes to mind, but this is not a short-term kind of thing. You're not thinking people staying there days and hours. You're thinking weeks and months, right?
We're looking at a minimum of a month
Okay.
and a maximum of a lifetime.
Wow. Now you recently did a pilot project, didn't you, here
We
in
did.
San Diego?
Yes, in Golden Hill.
Talk about the pilot project. What was that like?
It was a house in Golden Hill, just south of Balboa Park, San Diego, and we had 8 entrepreneurs staying at that house. We had 2 come across from Tijuana in Mexico, and magic happened.
I can't, these people didn't know each other, I'm guessing, before they started housing together.
That's right.
So you move in with 7 people you don't even know, but they're all entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
You got to figure at dinner time when you're sitting around a pizza and a soda that some ideas are going to generate some.
Yes.
This is brilliant. To use a British.
How did you find
Brilliant.
how did you find these people to come into this one house for the pilot project?
Well, when I got to San Diego, I went straight to Startup San Diego and said, can you introduce me to founders and just kind of immerse myself in that scene. And just really through making friends and connections, they appeared.
Nice.
And then I said, I said what I was working on, and I said, we're going to do a pilot house. Do you want to be part of it? It was just, people just jumped on it.
Wow, because it is an intriguing, interesting idea. What was the genesis of this for you?
Well, going back to when I moved to London from the northwest of England, I had my kind of entrepreneurial dreams, and I thought I'll move down there and I'll start a business and everything. And it was just such a massive city, and everything was everywhere. The networking events, the people, and the advisors and so on, they're just everywhere. And very quickly, I just thought to myself, I wanted everything under one roof. And this was before co-working and co-living had kind of come along, and those movements had developed.
So why not just do this in London? What brought you to the United States?
Wait, London
that's
is
simple,
not
right?
like this outside in the fall? I mean,
We get this probably once every decade. It's 80, what is it, 75?
it was the last time you had a day like this in London, right?
Oh, yeah. Too long ago.
So you had this thought. Was it when you had the original idea? Was it as big as 10,000 square feet and this many people, or were you thinking more like a dozen people in a 5-bedroom kind of thing?
I was thinking even smaller. I was just thinking almost like Airbnb. It's like take sublet an Airbnb house and put maybe 5 entrepreneurs in there. Like if it's get a 5-bed, put 5 entrepreneurs in there. Very simple kind of idea. But very quickly the community, with the site and email list, subscribe, it's just blown up.
Wow.
So all of a sudden it's like, okay, 5 is going to be no good. We need to
Expand it.
expand.
How did you arrive at the numbers you did? The 10,000. Is that kind of an optimal pricing point for you,
Yes,
and the
yes.
way you can get property? I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you get beyond the 10,000
Yep.
square foot level, now you're into pretty good sized commercial property.
Exactly.
Right?
It's the sweet spot for us, yeah.
Yeah. And then what? Do you have a price point for people staying at these places yet? Do you have any idea what it's gonna cost somebody to not couch surf but stay there for a month or two?
We're looking at between $1,500 and $2,000.
A month.
Yes.
That's
And
not
that's-
not bad at all.
It's not bad, but and everything will be included. We want to streamline your living. So
Does that include things like internet?
Yep, high speed broadband.
That goes back to our concept of
utilities, all
decision
bills.
fatigue. You're taking all
That's
this
it.
stuff away
Yes.
from...
That's it. Entrepreneurs
entrepreneur.
can't afford
So,
to waste their time on
Do you
that.
have a way to participate in anything that they're doing, or is this, in your mind, you're going to set up these communities, all of these wonderful things will blossom from that, and then you can just point to it and say, hey, I had a hand in doing that, or will you also be involved with the entrepreneurs that are going to be habitating or living there?
We want. Well,
Good question.
That
That
is a very good question. We want a very active role with our community. Like we're building a true community, and we're calling it a deep community. So at some point, hopefully in the near future, we'll have capital that we will use to invest in the startups and entrepreneurs that are living in our communities.
Ooh, I have an idea.
Go.
Let them live there free if you get 10% of everything created out of there.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Do you want to partner up?
Can I move in?
Our third co-founder has revealed himself.
So the first one that you have that you're launching, is that slated for next year sometime?
Yes, we're looking at maybe summer, fall 2018.
And
yes.
is it going to be physically located in Southern California?
It's going to be in San Diego.
San Diego. Wow. David Lowe is with us, founder and CEO of Qwerky. Qwerky.co is the website, a co-living community for like-minded people, meaning digital nomads, entrepreneurs, and creative.
That's right.
Sounds like a great place to be. We're looking forward to the first one here in San Diego next summer. More with David Lowe at Qwerky when we come back. You're listening to BISTalk. I'm Bob Ryan.
I'm Montana Smith.
And I'm Aaron Kanata.
Stay with us, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Something you might want to mention is the spelling of Qwerky, because it's not Qwerky.
was gonna say
It's
something.
That's a good point.
Qwerky.
Thank you. It's a really
Qwerky.
Where did you come up with the name?
Yeah, good question.
That's a good name, though. It's memorable.
This is going to sound really
Quirky.
quirky. It was a dream. It's just the brand
got
came
it,
to be
Bob?
a dream. And it's more of a kind of
QW?
feeling than a
ER?
kind of
ERKY.
See, well, I had it spelled
you know,
right.
.co.
Yeah. There's no definition. It's more of a feeling. Feeling of,
Oh, a feeling is
yeah.
what drove the name.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, one of the best dream stories is Mama Malachi's snacks. They're in Costco.
yeah.
They're nationwide now. They started off with water roasted almonds, 2 guys. Just great story. But when they started the company, one of the guys had a dream that almond prices were going to soar. So he bought almonds on the futures market. And that founded their company because almond prices
guy.
did soar. I
Now
know,
they
but he
can
had a
undercut.
dream. He says it was from God. That guy.
Says he had any other dreams?
No, but I'd like to stay in touch because that's the kind of guy you need to hang out with, right? Okay, so this is freaky weird. My best friend for 58 years, Curtis, died a couple years ago. He keeps showing up. Yesterday I'm on Facebook. He liked something that I posted.
5 seconds, Bob.
Really, not kidding. I love it.
This is for you, Bob.
You know, I used to get teased about being a preacher's kid. Now I'm actually
And you got
telling
a lot
it.
of good stories out of it.
Yeah, you
I
do.
hear at least one a day.
Well, welcome back to BISTalk, Believing is Seeing Talk Radio. You're listening to us on ESPN 1700, but did you know you could watch us too? Watch us on Facebook. Visit our BISTalk radio page, share your comments, ask your questions, and Bob really appreciates your likes. I'm Montana Smith.
I'm Aaron Kanata.
I'm Bob Ryan. You know, the one story that I can tell on air is that when I was a kid, I literally had to clean up my bedroom on Sunday mornings because it turned into a Sunday school classroom. We actually lived physically in the church for years. It's kind of a strange way to grow up.
Is that the one story because it's the only appropriate
It's the only
story?
appropriate story.
That's a good point. There's more.
Oddly, I was the son of a preacher man, and yet there's stories I can't tell on air. That seems
You've
a
led
little bit.
an
Yeah.
intriguing life.
I have another intrigue. You worked that in again. Thank you. David Lowe is with us, founder and CEO of Qwerky. Qwerky.co is the website, and that's spelled QWERKY.co, correct?
That's correct.
David, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Talking about the launch of this concept, which is a co-living community for like-minded people. The idea is that entrepreneurs, digital nomads, I love that, and creative people can have a place to stay where everything's bundled. They don't have to worry about pulling all the utilities together. They don't have to worry about getting internet. I mean, it's all right there. But I'm guessing 90% of the benefit that comes from doing this is not necessarily the cost savings, although that's a great benefit. But I'm guessing the huge benefit to most of the people there are going to be the other dozens of people they're going to be living with and around on a regular basis.
Exactly. So at the pilot house in June, one of the 8 people who lived there, she came, like she knew she wanted to be an entrepreneur, but she didn't have a kind of defined, like an actual concrete idea. And within 12 hours, she come up with an idea by
No.
talking to the other entrepreneurs. So it's kind of, that's, I said before, you know,
That's
it
brilliant.
was magic. What happened? I mean, that's 12 hours.
Will the people
So
who live
imagine
there
what
have
would-
a say in the other people? So say this, it's kind of full and then there's an opening. Is there?
I don't know
some
why
sort of
that's
like a
funny. That just,
scorecard
yeah, that
system.
just.
Well, I mean, if they're like, hey, we're all tech people, but we need somebody in the material
Marketing.
sciences, right? Like, if they've got these great ideas that they're kind of coming up with, would they be able to have a say in who the other tenants are going to be?
I mean,
Why
it's
not?
a good idea. I mean, eventually that's something that we could certainly explore.
I thought, you know, where I thought you were going was the ones wanted certain people to leave.
Oh.
Like, what's
Like
that?
both them off like a reality
Yes,
TV show,
right.
The Real World.
Oh, you could do a reality.
Qwerky
Have you thought about that?
We've
could
had it
you
suggested.
could do a reality show
Yes,
on this,
yes.
right?
It's definitely come up. It might happen down the line, but I think let's start with.
Oh,
One
come on!
step
You
at
mean
a
you
time.
actually want to focus? You want to do this right? I can tell.
If we do that, Big Brother style, would you be one of our first Qwerkies?
Qwerky, that's a good one.
I will do anything pretty much.
Then we're going to launch it.
So all these like new age companies like Google and that, they have like beanbag chairs and pods that you can go take naps in. I think they call them life hacks, right? Are there things that you're going to build in to help make people more productive?
you've gone down a rabbit hole here. I love it.
We
I love
spoke
it.
before the show.
This is how long have we got?
The napping pod is my favorite one, by the way.
Yeah.
So what? Now that we've opened that can of worms,
Yeah.
we only have
5 minutes.
5 minutes left. But you can take all 5 minutes talking about the cool things you're going to do in there.
My co-founder is ex-MIT, so he's a technologist, and he's got some incredible ideas of how we can use technology to enhance the living experience. Millennials love experiences over stuff, so they don't need to own the house, they don't need to own the car, but they want an amazing living experience. And so one of the things that we're exploring is a smart mirror.
Oh, I love those. Are you going to use the
Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
know.
all know it.
Yes.
I love that you know that.
The Raspberry Pi. I want to do a smart mirror.
Yes.
And I want it to be able to tell it's me by how tall I am,
Yes.
and it's Montana by how tall she is.
Yes.
Well, I guess we just let the cat out of the bag. We live together.
Oh,
We didn't tell anybody that. So I want a smart mirror. Yes.
Okay, deal. We'll
So are you really going to do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Raspberry Pi
Yeah,
mirrors?
he's actually working on it now, working on
Very
on
cool.
manufacturing a prototype. So the theory is that using kind of facial recognition technology, artificial intelligence as well, you can stand in front of that mirror. It'll tell you look really sexy today, and
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi, Bob. You look amazing. You need to go shave.
Bob needs that.
A little too much stubble today.
Yeah, yeah. So you mentioned at the very beginning that you have a good legal team together.
Yes.
I'm guessing that you need a good legal team because you're treading in areas that open up to a lot of issues.
It's more on the funding front.
Oh, okay,
Helping
so-
guide us through funding and incorporating and making sure we're structured correctly, not rather than the kind of.
Are you concerned at all about that environment where you might have romances happening and bromances happening, and because guys get jealous of bromances too, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you have you experienced any of that, or is this something that you project because of the quality of the people you're bringing in is going to be a smooth ride?
Human beings are unpredictable, so of course anything is possible. But through that kind of application screening process, yeah, we think that we'll be able to
Minimize that kind of
minimize that.
thing.
Exactly, yeah. And if it happens, it happens. If people fall in love, it's good.
So the technology that's brought to the table will be things like the smart mirror,
Yes.
the other kinds of things like I'm guessing internet and different access to things.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine wake up in the morning and instead of reaching for the phone or the laptop, you can just talk to your mirror.
So your
Mirror
pilot
on the
case,
wall.
your
Yeah.
test case was in Golden Hill. Do you have a
Yeah.
space already set for the actual the first go at it?
We've identified the location, and we're going for funding and with that funding, we'll be acquiring that building.
Do you have a path for the funding right now?
We've got
Okay.
it's a path that's developing, but yeah.
And the applications for people to reside there will start when? When will you start taking applications?
We're looking at probably early 2018.
Early 2018
Yes.
perhaps.
Yes.
And will they be able to keep track on Qwerky.co? I mean, is that where they if they follow it along on there, will they be able to apply if they're interested?
If they add their email, we'll be in touch. And,
Okay,
and
all right.
connect.
So there's an email capture system in there somehow where so
exactly.
if you're interested, you can go to Qwerky.co.
Exactly.
Give them your email and follow that along. The legal issues on the funding is there anything unique about this design for funding that's different from a traditional business model, or is this working kind of along the lines of a traditional business model in terms of its funding and structure?
Well, there'll be it's like a hybrid model. So we'll have the traditional startup, if you like. So we've got the team, and the investors will be backing us, and then also there's the real estate play. So they'll be investing in the building and buildings. So as we build the global network of co-living communities,
So be their
they're
Qwerky
backing
REIT
the
at
whole
some
group.
point in time.
Uh,
Real estate investment trust.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
David Lowe, founder and CEO of Qwerky, Qwerky.co, and at Qwerky Co-Living
Yes, on social media.
on social media,
Yes.
at Qwerky Co-Living, Qwerky. David, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
We'll follow this along.
You bet.
I want to go see it.
Come
You've been listening to BISTalk, Believing and Seeing Talk Radio. I'm Bob Ryan.
I'm Montana Smith.
And I'm Aaron Kanata.
We'll be right back with Darren Solomon. Don't go anywhere.
What a fun project.
Is there an age limit to be a tenant?
Let's go ahead and switch.
I mean, it
to
seems like
Twenty-
such a young person.
We're looking at 18 as the minimum.
Oh, I meant
Yeah.
maximum, but
The
actually,
maximum in theory, no.
That's
If
what
you've
I'm
got
doing right
entrepreneurial
now.
dreams and you're
That's what I'm
99,
Darren, if I could
get
get
up.
you to go back there, we'll
Absolutely,
get
yes.
Darren. Thank you. You gonna stick around? Or you gonna go? Okay. No, please help.